What if I told you that you could pay off your mortgage years ahead of schedule without making a huge sacrifice to your life? Sounds near impossible, right? Well, guess what? In this video, I'm gonna share with you several mortgage hacks that will help you pay your mortgage off years in advance. That's right, years in advance. And again, it's not going to take much effort or change your lifestyle much, if any at all. But make sure you stick around to the end because you don't want to miss out on just one of these mortgage hacks, because maybe you adopt one, maybe you adopt multiple. But either way, these mortgage hacks will definitely help you pay your home off a lot faster than expected. Hey everyone, I'm Chris Nelson, the team lead of the Nelson Home Group, helping buyers and sellers achieve their real estate goals here in the greater Philadelphia area. Now, whether you're new to the channel or not, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that red button and mash that bell. Not only does this notify YouTube that you appreciate my content, but it's also another way for you to stay in the know. This is exactly how you can become aware of when I post future videos. Now, for years, I've always been told that you want to pay your house off. And I'm not here to dispute that in this video, but some would agree that having a mortgage and leveraging that mortgage for other gains might be the better approach to take. But if you're someone who wants to pay their house off and live without having to pay a mortgage, well, then this video is for you. Now, one thing that's important for you to understand when it comes to a mortgage is that when you are paying a mortgage, your interest is actually front loaded. And what I mean by that is when you first take out a mortgage and start making mortgage payments, a lot of the money that you're sending will actually go to interest, not to your principal. The principal is what you owe before you actually pay the house off. Now, one thing that is super important for you to remember throughout this video is that when you are paying back a mortgage, your mortgage is front loaded in interest. So if you have a 30-year mortgage, the amount of money that you pay should stay the same so long as it is a fixed mortgage. But what happens is when you start making mortgage payments up front, a lot of your mortgage payment goes towards interest. It does not go toward the principal balance. And that is important to know because that will help you understand why some of these mortgage hacks work. There's something referred to as an amortization schedule that you get a copy of when you take out a mortgage. Most people don't pay any attention to this document, but what it does is it shows that if you were to make all 360 mortgage payments, it shows exactly how much of your interest goes towards the balance and how much of your principal goes towards the balance on every payment. And if you take a look at that, you will notice that up front, a majority of the money that you're sending in goes directly to the interest. So whether you're doing this to create financial freedom, reduce your monthly expenses, or just to own your home faster, then some of these hacks should help you. So the first hack is simply just to round your mortgage payment up. Now, let's just say you're paying a mortgage of $1,474. Why not round that up to $1,500, which is an extra $26 in the payment? Or if you can afford it, bump it up to $1,600, which is roughly $126 extra. Now, the key thing to know in this situation is if you are going to pay extra, whether you're just bumping it up a little bit or a lot, when you go to make that payment, there's several different options. And the most important thing for you to understand here is the additional payment or the additional $26, you need to make sure that you are applying that directly to the principal balance owed. If not, then the servicer just may apply that to interest, which in this scenario is what we're trying to avoid. The interest doesn't help you in any which way, shape, or form. So the faster you can pay the mortgage off and avoid paying that interest, the more money you're going to save. Another way to pay your mortgage off a lot faster is to do bi-weekly payments. Now, this is actually one of my favorite mortgage hacks because it's so easy to do. And if you're a creature of habit, which most of us are, you can get yourself in this routine relatively easy. Now, let's just say your mortgage payment is $1,500. Now, I know your mortgage payment isn't exactly $1,500, but just stick with me. What I would encourage for you to do for this next hack is you're going to break that mortgage payment in half. So for this example, $750. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to pay that $750 bi-weekly. Now, at the end of the year, what happens when you do things this way is you actually end up paying an additional month of mortgage payments. Because it's done bi-weekly, you end up having 26 partial payments rather than 12 full payments. And taking this approach can drastically reduce the amount of time it takes for you to pay off a 30-year mortgage. As a matter of fact, a rule of thumb is if you do this, more than likely you're going to shave about 4 to 6 years off of mortgage payments. So this is one of my favorite ones because it's easy for anyone to do, especially if you're paid on a bi-weekly basis. Another hack that a lot of people don't think about is just to contribute your windfalls towards your mortgage, whether it be a tax return or a bonus that you get from your job. Any large windfall that you have theoretically could be put right on your principal balance, bringing the amount of money that you owe down significantly, helping you pay the loan off a lot faster. So although it might be common sense, you'd be surprised how many people don't even think about taking those large lump sums and dumping them on their principal balance. Now, thinking along those same lines, maybe you don't want to pay bi-weekly and maybe rounding your mortgage payment up isn't for you, which is totally fine. But every now and then, if you have some extra cash, you can dump that extra cash on your principal. The key thing is just to think about disposable cash or money that may be coming into your hands that you weren't planning for. Just think about using that as a way to pay off your mortgage by making even the smallest mortgage payment. Now, again, in that situation, you want those additional payments to go towards principal, but if you can't be consistent and you can't do it bi-weekly and you're not interested in rounding up your payments, just be mindful of taking little bits of money here and there and adding that to your principal balance. Now, if you're like me, you tend to forget a lot of things. Now, I don't forget my bills for the most part, but there's been times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally need to go and make this mortgage payment. But where I'm going with that is if you're anything like that, or you're just too busy or life gets in the way, consider setting up automatic payments. Now, this is also where if you are thinking about rounding up a payment or doing bi-weekly payments, you can actually schedule things automatically to come right out of your account. So you're not even thinking about it. Although you may feel like you're paying the mortgage because it's affecting your bottom line, although you're going to feel it because it's still money out of your pocket, you're not going to feel it as much because you're not going into your mortgage database or your mortgage servicer's website, making that payment, calling them up, or however it is you're accustomed to doing it. Setting it up automated is a great way for you to just set it and forget it. And next thing you know, you're paying that mortgage balance down. And the last isn't really a hack. It's more of a suggestion. Regardless how you plan on paying your mortgage down faster, I would encourage for you to use an amortization calculator. These calculators are available online and they can really help you go through scenarios that would be a little bit more dialed into your exact use case. So you can run any of these scenarios, whether it's the rounded up payments, whether it's the bi-weekly payments, whether it's lump sum payments, you can run all of that through one of these amortization calculators and really get a clear picture as to which one of these makes the most sense for you. Because at the end of the day, what works for me may not work for you and vice versa, but I want for you to have this information so that, hey, if you want to pay your house off faster, you have a way of doing so. Let me know if you've tried any of these or if you're thinking about using any of these. Let me know in the comments which one you think is best for you, because there is no right or wrong, but I'm just curious to know which one you think is best. So with all that said, I'm Chris Nelson, team lead of the Nelson Home Group, helping buyers and sellers, maybe you, maybe one of your friends one day, achieve their real estate goals here in the greater Philadelphia area. And as always, in the comment section, there is a downloadable guide for you if you are thinking about selling your home. Our seller resource guide is full of information to help you make that happen. Till next time, take care.